Hello and welcome to another YouTube video. In this video I will teach you how you too can install a node.js or JavaScript or Angular development environment using a Linux virtual machine. And the Linux distribution I will be using in this tutorial is Open Suse, just because I love this distribution. So pardon me for using the Windows, but this is my main operating system today. I will be using Oracle VM VirtualBox, and you see that I have here an image of Open Suse Lib 15.1, which is the latest version. And I will add a new virtual machine, and I will place it on the desktop. Let me do a new one. Let me place it on my desktop, and I will call it Suse. And as you can see, it's already detected by the name of the image that the type is Linux and it's going to be Open Suse 64-bit. Now I'm going to be an expert for expert mode, and I will use about, I don't know, let's do 8 gigabyte of data. And I will create a virtual hard disk now. And Open Suse Lib. That's the name of the operating system. And we'll add the version 15.1. And I will create the virtual hard disk, and it will going to be, put it on the desktop for convenience, and let's do, I don't know, 12 gigabytes, and I do a fixed sized disk, and I will leave the other options as they are. I don't want to mess with VirtualBox. And now it's allocating all the space that it's needed for creating this hard drive. Again, it's a virtual hard drive. It's a simulation of how a regular hard drive will behave, given that this is a virtual machine. So again, this will take a few seconds. It might go even faster or slower on your machine, depending on the type of the hard disk that you have. I have SSD on my machine, which is pretty fast, and I have a fast processor. So here it is. The machine is ready for booting up. And I'll go to the machine settings, and I'll add the image of the operating system. I go to the CD-ROM drive, and I choose the optical image of Open Suse Lib. Again, this is a really quick video. It's nothing too professional about it. Okay, I raised the memory, the RAM of the display controller of the virtual graphical interface, and again let's use 8 gigabytes of RAM. As I can see, I have all those gigabytes freely, so I can use it without any problems. and I do OK here, and let's start the machine. So I've started the virtual machine, and it opens as a new window, and we're starting to install the Linux operating system from the virtual machine. Again, Linux is an open source operating system that is both recommended, strong, and very useful. And many of the tech world's giants and companies and startups are using Linux behind the scene. And a little bit of self-promotion. If you go to my website, which is listed here, leoravital.com, in the next few weeks I'm creating right now Linux online courses for teaching you how to install Linux professionally and how to use this amazing operating system. If you're a hobbyist or a professional, if you're a developer, software developer, listen, this is the platform that will take your ability and skyrocket it to the sun. I mean, Linux is such an amazing platform that it's amazing what it can do to your skills once you're getting over the initial steps. And believe me, I'm working hard to bring you to be an expert in Linux in no time. So this video is a proof of concept. I want to show you that I have the skills to guide you to the promised land of being a Linux expert and a software developer expert and a DevOps expert. And now I have this keyboard language and license agreement. I do next on this. And as you can see, it's really easy to use this wizard to install Open Suse. And again, it's one of the best Linux distribution out there. I personally love them because they are giving you an all-around experience. And right now I have this ability to add software from the internet to upgrade old and outdated software in the installation process. And again, if you're starting to watch the video only now, we're installing Linux Open Suse Linux 15.1, and this is a nice developer machine operating system. Right now I'm installing it as a virtual machine on my laptop, on my Windows laptop. I think, don't judge me here, but I personally think that creating virtual machines and using them instead of installing it natively on your machine can give you an advantage. I mean, for example, you can have an Ubuntu image and an Open Suse image, and I mean, it's really convenient and easy to use Linux this way. Again, it's performance wise, it's really, you don't feel the overhead of the performance right now with today's hardware. I, for example, have Core i7 processor on my laptop, so it's really fast. And I personally like working with virtual images. So this step of updating the software from the internet, it's taking a few minutes. Again, I recommend doing the update during the installation because, again, you have security updates and performance improvement and it's recommended to just do the update first thing when you're installing the operating system. Again, if this is the first time you're seeing Linux or hearing about Linux, don't worry, I will explain more. And I'm planning for you free online courses about Linux or very low cost online courses about Linux and tutorials on my YouTube channel and Facebook page, and we can connect on LinkedIn if you want. Again, I'm Lior Avital for all of you who see me right now or the first time. Let me tell you a little bit about myself. I'm a software engineer. I studied 4 years at an engineering college here in Israel, and I have 4+ years of experience as a software developer. And right now I'm establishing an online college of teaching programming, web development, operating system, DevOps, all the technical knowledge that can take anybody, I mean anybody who is open to listening and learning, and getting them to a professional stage. So this is right now a very important step in the installation, the system role. In this wizard, we'll choose what kind of an operating system we are going to install regarding our usage. So I will choose desktop with KDE Plasma because I like KDE, and this means that it's a regular desktop like Windows or Mac OS, and it's really easy to use. You have also option to use the GNOME graphical user interface, which is also nice, but again I prefer the KDE. You have generic desktop. I don't know what this means. Maybe with bare bones graphical user interface. You can install only server machine, for example, to serve web apps or testing machine or something. It's really easy. And you have transactional server, which means that it's like the server installation, but it's even less easy to use. Anyway, we'll go with the KDE desktop. I'm choosing next. And this is one of the easiest operating systems to install. And I'm accepting the partitioning. One thing to note here is that the main file system is of the kind BTRFS, better file system. Well, this is new to me since I've been away from Linux for a couple of years and now I'm coming back. I know the BTRFS file system is great file system for many usages. It scales well, it's really nice, and I guess that it's already mature enough for being the default file system here. And I will choose next. And time zone. Now we need to choose the time zone. Let us wait until it loads. Alright. Don't panic if it happens to you. This means that the virtual machine is just loading and caching, and maybe it's taking a while. Alright. As you can see, it synchronizes with an NTP server, which means that it's actually synchronizing with a clock server, which will indicate what is the precise time on my time zone. I'm from Israel, so I'm choosing Israel, and it looks okay. Date and time looks reasonable, and I'm doing next. And user's full name, I call it Lior Avital, and I do some easy to remember password, and I will type it again, and I do next. As you can see, yeah, the password is way too simple, but again, it's a non-critical machine, and I will use it this way. As you can see, we have all of these options, like booting using the bootloader. A bootloader, for those of you who don't know, it's a software that initially boots up the operating system and load it into memory. So we'll use grab2, and it will be installed into the virtual hard disk. And we have here the default software options, and right now I'm going to enable installation. This is okay for me right now. So I will choose install, I will confirm installation, and this will take about, I don't know, somewhere from a few minutes to, I don't know, 10 minutes. And as you can see, the operating system itself is made from files which are called RPM files. This actually is a package, a software package, which is like a zip archive with configuration files and metadata. Metadata it's information that adds options for the software, for the operating system in this way, to install and configure and use the software. As you already know, software is created from source code, which is either compiled or converted to its production binary form, like an archive in this case. And so right now I'm installing a lot of packages here, and again it's going to take a while, I guess. So maybe I stop now the recording and I will come back when it finishes. Well, as you can see, the installation is almost over. Right now it's installing the desktop. It's the final package of the installation, and it's, again, I grabbed myself a cup of tea and talked with a friend. I mean, it's taken a few minutes, this whole story. And right now we have the final installation steps of all the services and user configurations and bootloader. I mean, it's the last steps of the installation, and right now it's almost 97%. It's 97% of the installation done. And again, this is pretty easy considering the technical difficulty it probably took. I know from my experience that it was a lot harder to install Linux in older versions and systems, and right now it's a breeze. It's a walk in the park, It's a few clicks on the next button, tiny intervention from our part, and the rest is automated. And now the virtual machine is rebooted, and after it restarts, it will begin with the actual operating system. I will choose boot from hard drive, and we'll choose Open Suse Lib. And for those of you who don't know VirtualBox, when you go over your VirtualBox window with your cursor, then your cursor is controlling the virtual machine. When your cursor is outside of the window, it controls your regular desktop. So right now it's starting. As you can see, the boot process, I can show you the boot process. Oh, it's already finished. I wanted to show you the boot process, but this was very fast. And let's try to enlarge the screen. And not wallpaper. Let's go to settings. Let's try display. This is a configuration panel which controls the display. And please, I want a normal resolution. I don't have. Let's see. Alright, let's try this one. Now it's too large for my screen. Let's try. Let's try, I don't know, this one maybe. You see, it's not alright. As you know, VirtualBox has some alright, it's not good yet. Let's try another resolution. Oh, it's alright. This is considerably nicer than the previous ones. Let me enlarge the window. So we have our desktop here, and we have this start menu, kind of like a Windows menu. As you can see, we have a lot of commands and options. We have, for example, we have Chrome. No, we don't have Chrome yet. We have Firefox as the web browser. So I guess the first thing we'll do in order for develop for the web is install Chrome. And we have two options to do it. We can download the binary from the Google website, or we can search it in our system installation options. For example, we can install and remove software. This is part of the YAST2 system configuration panel, which enables us to install a lot of packages. Let's search for Chrome. Alright. I don't see any Chrome here. And so I'll go to chrome.google.com and I will search for Chrome. Again, I find it as a basic necessity for any developer, any serious developer, to use Chrome, as this is the most common, the common browser of many of the users today, Google Chrome. And I will select the RPM 64-bit RPM package, as this is for my system, and I accept and install. And I open this. Let's close the YAS2 install software package manager, and we'll use the default software for the RPM package, which is the Discover package manager. And it's working automatically as it loads the file. And let's see if it's easy or hard to install Chrome on Open Suse. For now, I can see that I only need to press install and give my root password, which is, by the way, the password that you set for your user in the beginning of the video. And right now it's installing, and I guess that it's installed. Let's check. Let's check for Chrome. No, not yet. Let's see, maybe it's a shortcut in the desktop. No, applications, internet. All right. Or maybe Google Chrome. Alright, that's strange. Let's try again. This time I will save the RPM package into my downloads folder. You can find it under the home folder, downloads. And I will open it with install remove software. And I will enter my password. And let's see. Well, that's a pitfall of the Open Suse operating system. I mean, it needs to be easy to install software. And as you can see right now, I get the right packages ready, and I'll choose just accept. We have the Google Chrome package, and all of these are dependencies. So we'll accept these and continue installing the package and the dependencies. Let's see. Actually, this is a false alarm. As we can see that most of the it says that the package isn't good because of checksum is broken, but I can see that most of the checksum passed successfully, so I will ignore this. And again, I'm installing all the packages. It's like 4 or 5 packages. It's really a breeze, easy to install. And finish. And now let's search for Chrome. Hooray, we have the Google Chrome browser. And let's hope that it starts up way faster than the I don't like sending statistics to Google, sorry Google. And let's hope that it's faster from Firefox, which took a long while to start. And let's go to, we want a definitive, an ultimate, let's call it, development workstations. So we need Eclipse for all Java server-side developments if you're still working with Java or Java related technologies. And I will go to download packages and I will choose Eclipse IDE for enterprise Java developers, as this is mainly the platform that I use for working on Java server-side projects, and it's going to take a few whiles for the download to begin. And I'm downloading it. It will take a while to download. It's pretty fast, considerably. And meanwhile, let's add another package. The package that we want to add is Visual Studio Code, which is an IDE for developing web projects. This is what you use for mainly, here as you can see we have an option to download an RPM, so we'll choose this. And yeah, we have this script. And we'll get the terminal going to run this. I'll choose a root terminal and I paste all of these commands and I run them. Alright, that sucks. Let's start with this command. And now we'll do, actually we don't need the sudo part here. Alright. Oh, alright. This one is for Red Hat, Fedora and CentOS. This part is for a regular Open Suse distribution. And let's run it here in the terminal. For pasting, I'm using Shift Insert. And I'm entering my password. And I guess that it worked. And now I'm copying the second command. Alright. And let's see if we have, the Visual Studio Code package in the YAST repository, because this was supposed to add, here as you can see we have the Microsoft and Google repositories. And let's add the Visual Studio Code package, Visual Studio Code, and search, no results. Let's do extra. Let's check repositories. And Let's refresh this repository, and it's actually code. It's called code, not Visual Studio Code. And let's see. Alright, so this is the package for Visual Studio Code. It's actually called code. So I'm choosing this and I'm accepting the terms. And it's downloaded the Visual Studio Code package, the RPM, and it's installing it as I talk, and we have it installed. Let's check for a minute in the terminal, in the console, if we have Java installed. We have Java 11, and let's see if we have a Java development environment. We don't. So again, my intention in this tutorial, quick tutorial, slow tutorial, however you want to call it, is to set up two development environments. One is for Java and another one is for Visual Studio Code for web development. So here I can see that we have Java 11 OpenJDK and JDK headless. So we need this one, OpenJDK 11 devel, for the development part of the Java. And I don't think that we need any other thing. Again, this is for running a Java 11 development machine. Let's close the terminal and start it again. And try again for Java. See the compiler. And we have Java 11.0.3. So right now we don't need this. And we have this Eclipse package. Alright, and we'll extract this to a folder. I like to do documents and then code. Alright, so let's go right here. No, it's not the folder. Here is the folder, and create folder code. And we'll create another folder IDE, and we'll take off this and extract it here. Again, this is for the Java part, which is, you can say, the legacy backend stuff that people are still doing today. And Eclipse is the binary. I do properties. No, I don't need to change the permissions. It's already starting. This is the latest Eclipse version. And so this is for the Java part. This enables you to work on your existing Java backend projects. And it's really useful for today's work, as today's ecosystem, Java is still strong. I know that node.js and all this new generation of programming frameworks is taking its place now, but from what I can see personally, Java is still running strong, especially with legacy applications. So here you can work with legacy application, and for the workspace, I will choose documents code, and I create a folder named workspace, and I'll open it, and I will use it as the default workspace. And this is another launch. It's not relevant. And now it's starting the Eclipse IDE, and we have a full-blown Java development environment here. So we can do Java development, server side, client side, Android. Also for Android development, I still recommend the Android Studio by Google. And also let's start Visual Studio Code. Visual Studio Code is the new front-end power tool. Again, it's a very strong IDE. It will take a few moments to load. And right now we have this Eclipse as loaded. And I'm not using this right now. Alright, so Google has requested to use it. I'll do just this for not bothering with the settings. So here we have this welcome screen, and we have here a full-blown Eclipse Java development environment. As you can see, you can create a Maven project, a dynamic web project, Spring Boot, Spring project, all the legacy Java stuff. And here we have, this is the documentation for Visual Studio Code. It was opened using Visual Studio Code. It's opened it. And here we have our Visual Studio Code development environment. And on my Angular developers course, which is available again on my website, lioravital.com, I teach how to configure this fully blown for creating state-of-the-art Angular projects, Angular web projects. For now, we have this installed, and we can create projects. This environment can be used for all of your work, and it's a really strong environment because you have the console. You have a full-blown environment with all the necessary facilities for development. So it's been a nice journey with you for installing it. Again, thank you for watching all this video, for those that watched. And again, I'm pleased to teach you. Thank you again.